Aleister Black!
That guy got fucking destroyed by a black mass, dude. I love it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I'm right here.
Oh my God, man. That was fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Where do I begin, man? What a fucking night. This mixed with the Mae Young Classic semifinals, man. Holy shit. This has been one of the best storylines in all of WWE. I'm not even just talking about NXT. This has been one of the best storylines in all of WWE this year. And it really showed how creative WWE can be in terms of storytelling. And on top of that, how good they are in the heat of the moments when they need to produce something because of an unfortunate injury. Aleister Black went down right before Brooklyn. It was supposed to be himself and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in the main event of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn this year. That didn't happen. Aleister Black had to take some time away and heal up. He was injured. He had a groin issue, and he is back now, and he is factoring into WWE storylines in NXT better than he has ever been. Better than WWE has ever booked him in his entire run down there. And I'm talking about the undefeated streak that he went on, the fact that nobody had pinned him before, the fact that he was undefeated in singles competition, even his time during NXT champion. This is the best thing that probably could have ever happened for Aleister Black. And a lot of people are wondering tonight, why, Johnny, why? Now, we are to assume that Johnny Gargano is the culprit. We are to assume Johnny Gargano, after all these weeks of guessing and trying to figure out the clues and looking at the tape and looking at Nikki Cross and dissecting what she's been saying and to who she's been saying that to, after weeks of speculation, we are to assume after tonight's episode that Johnny Gargano is the one who attacked Aleister Black. It's clear as day. You've seen the end of NXT tonight. Johnny Gargano is the one who attacked Aleister Black. The first thing that people were coming to me with was, why? Why, Johnny? This is the worst case scenario that they could have went with. Why didn't they go with somebody else who they could have catapulted into main event status? And the other thing that I was hearing from people was, that was lame. Why didn't we get an explanation tonight? Well, let me get that one out of the way right now. Why didn't we get an explanation tonight is because WWE wants to keep you guessing. They want you to tune in, even though we will anyway, because NXT is the A show. We are going to tune in next week to find out the reason, hopefully, as to why Johnny did what he did and his motives. And the fact that he's now turning to the dark side. And if you guys watched Off the Script this weekend, if you can't beat him, join him. So they gave you the ending tonight, which was beautifully done. And they're going to get you to watch next week to find out from Johnny himself when he opens his mouth why he did it. So that's that. It's good television. It's a cliffhanger to get you going into next week. I mentioned that this entire thing was spoiled for me by a few salty motherfuckers on social media, a few bad seeds on social media. Now, hearing it from somebody, reading it in a tweet, reading it in a spoiler on a dirt sheet is much different than watching it when it actually transpires on television. This was beautifully done. I loved everything about this. I love the fact that they built up throughout the entire show that Aleister Black wasn't there at the beginning, but Nikki Cross throughout the show, oh, he's coming, he's here, and then Aleister Black towards the ending of this show, absolutely, in Mortal Kombat fatality-like fashion, decapitated the security guards waiting outside Full Sail University to stop this guy from entering. He needs somebody in the face. I think his head is still rolling. And the black mass that he delivered to that guy when he opened the door, probably the most brutal black mass I think I've ever heard or seen in my entire life. Then he did the same thing to Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan came down. We had Velveteen Dream come down. They both made cases as to why they should be the one to challenge Tommaso Ciampa at War Games for the NXT Championship. Tommaso Ciampa came down just to kind of oversee everything and see firsthand who he was going to be defending the title against. That's when Nikki Cross made her presence known. He's here. And Aleister Black just, caused chaos as he got into the ring, grabbed Regal by the suit jacket, and started yelling, "Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?" And then Regal looked behind Aleister Black as he was being choked out, and Johnny was there waiting with a super kick, and Aleister Black was asking Regal, "Where is he? Where is he?" And then Johnny just so beautifully put, "I'm right here." That was the ending of NXT. Aleister Black going down with injury was the worst possible thing that could have ever happened to this entire storyline. Aleister Black, let's go back even before what was supposed to happen in Brooklyn. Aleister Black was the NXT champion. They gave him the championship because it was his time. There was no other individual at that time to make the NXT champion. Now, I made a case in January why they should have went with Johnny Gargano over Andrade Cien Almas. That was the perfect moment. The perfect moment. And WWE didn't seize the opportunity there. Everybody watching, even now, I've watched that match about a dozen fucking times. Even now, you go back and watch it, and you still get that feeling that it would be very difficult to watch that match, no matter how many times you've seen it, and wonder why they didn't give Johnny Gargano the NXT Championship then. That was a perfect time, the right crowd, the right city when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl. It was just great. Everything about it was just so fucking picture perfect. And now Aleister Black with the NXT Championship won the championship, and he had a piss poor title reign. And it's not even his fault. It's not even his fault. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were operating on an unearthly fucking level to a point where everything that they were doing was just more important than the NXT Championship. Not by design, it's just when you put a pen to paper and you write wrestling storylines and it's that fucking great. It doesn't happen that often. But when the storyline is that great, it's going to. And I don't think any storyline or any, feud that is not for the NXT Championship or a World Championship should trump or be more important or more of a priority over your World Champion and your World Championship. It was just the way the cards fell. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were operating on another fucking planet, and the storyline with whatever they had going on was more important than whatever Aleister Black was doing. And Triple H made mention of it in the conference calls. There's no way I can put Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa on a show and not put them in the main event. This is the way the storyline is going. And with the stipulations that they had battled through, it's a 50-50 between people. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I didn't mind it because of how great the story was. But on the other hand, I did mind it because the NXT Championship was treated as a mid-card championship for a lot of this year. Until Tommaso Ciampa got it. Because that's how good Tommaso Ciampa's been. When you got someone operating on that type of level and you give him the championship, by default, everything kind of evens out. But Johnny Gargano not winning the championship and then losing to Tommaso Ciampa and Ciampa being positioned above Gargano. Again, Ciampa was on another fucking planet. He was even better than Gargano, and Gargano is a 5-star machine this year. That's how good Ciampa has been. So when Ciampa started to outshine Johnny Gargano, and Ciampa was the NXT champion, everything that we wanted with Johnny, the majority of the fans didn't want anymore. It was very difficult for Triple H to capture that magic once again with Johnny Gargano. And I honestly think that if you asked Triple H if he could go back and rewrite history, I honestly think he would give you the answer of, I think we should have put the title on Johnny Gargano in January, looking back on everything, because he was not as hot as he was since then. He was the hottest then. And I honestly believe Triple H would give you that answer. And you look back on it, and I think a lot of people listening to me and watching me tonight or tomorrow, whenever you guys catch this video, I think a lot of you would agree with me that looking back on it, Johnny Gargano should have beat Andrade St. Almas for the NXT Championship then. And they should have capitalized on that then. Aleister Black getting hurt and not being in the main event of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn completely fucked up this entire storyline. Every single aspect of this storyline between Gargano and Ciampa was fucked up. And it became an issue where people, if they felt like they were getting another Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano feud and a match, I honestly think it would have been so detrimental to the entire storyline that everything that they did up until that point would have been completely jeopardized. You couldn't go with another Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa match, and you couldn't at this point in time give Johnny Gargano the NXT Championship. So what are you going to do with Johnny Gargano at this point if he's not going to be in the NXT Championship picture, if he's not going to factor into an NXT title reign right now, and he's going to be floating around waiting and waiting and waiting? What is Johnny Gargano going to do while he waits for everything to finally, once again, be in the right place for him to be the NXT champion? He would have been in nothing. Johnny Gargano and WWE toyed with this. Johnny Gargano was in, a bad place, and then he tried to get himself right and become Johnny Wrestling again. He was just very downtrodden, very saddened. He was very depressed that he couldn't win a match. Lost to the Velveteen Dream. He walked out of NXT. What was this guy going to do? So WWE and Triple H, they did the one thing, which is a risk. They did the one thing that would not only get Johnny back to a point where they can actually hit the reset button, but this has made Aleister Black the biggest babyface in the entire NXT, in the entire locker room. Aleister Black is the biggest babyface in the entire NXT locker room. And for a guy that lost everything and was just, not that attractive because of whatever Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were doing, when you look at Aleister Black now, this entire storyline benefited him. Him being injured benefited him. This was a great situation for when someone got hurt, comes back, and is bigger than he was before. Johnny, with the injury, felt worse off with the injury, and it fucked up all the storyline. So WWE had no choice but to make Johnny Gargano, from what we've seen tonight, into a heel. And I love Johnny Gargano. He's probably at the top of my list of favorites in all of WWE right now, with Ciampa, Ricochet, Adam Cole. There was no other point of destination for Johnny Gargano outside of what they did tonight. So I'm trying to relay to you guys, for everybody that is really up in the air about this, this was the worst decision that they could have possibly made. Let's see it play out. Johnny was doing nothing. Aleister Black was the focus of the storyline because everybody wanted to know who attacked him. So he already had something waiting for him when he came back anyway. Tommaso Ciampa was moving on from Gargano. They're positioning him with the Velveteen Dream. You could have put Johnny Gargano in the North American Championship, but that entire situation is kind of tied up with Adam Cole, Ricochet, EC3 now, I'm assuming, Pete Dunne. You just can't put Johnny Gargano in there just for the sake of him being Johnny Gargano. Johnny had nothing to do. Ciampa was with Dream. Black came back. He was going to fight whoever the culprit was anyway. So why not make Johnny the culprit? Why not get Johnny into the mix and keep him relevant and give him a new persona so we get Johnny kind of at the same place but playing a different role? And Johnny is so good at what he does anyway. You know, we all questioned, oh, well, Sami Zayn's not going to play a good heel, or Tommaso Ciampa's not going to play a good heel. Is the best example out of all of them, because DIY was so beloved. Neville wasn't going to play a good heel. Johnny is going to play a great fucking heel. I could see an inner dick in Johnny Gargano. And I think this is going to play out beautifully. From what I see after tonight, they are probably going to book these guys in TakeOver at War Games, and that match could potentially steal the whole fucking show. I don't see this being a bad thing. I really don't. And I hope that you guys understand that Johnny had nowhere else to go. You can't have Johnny Gargano be in nothing. You can't have Johnny Gargano be mediocre on NXT. Johnny has been built up throughout this entire year as being the fucking heart and soul and the face of that company. Why not hit the reset button? Why not hit the reset button? Why not have Gargano visit the dark side? He sees how good Ciampa is. He sees how well Ciampa's doing, not giving a fuck about anything. So why not? Why not? And the funny thing about it is, if you go back a couple of weeks and listen to Tommaso Ciampa cut a promo, he says, and I quote, "I don't care who attacked Aleister Black. All I know is I want to shake the guy's hand for a job well done." Johnny Gargano. You don't think that's exciting to the viewer? To know that these guys battled each other in some of the best matches that you're going to see in this company? And now they're joining forces against Aleister Black? This is great storytelling, people. Aleister Black is right back to being where he was before he was hurt, but better off. Now he's got not only Johnny Gargano to contest with, but you know for a fact all of this is leading towards a Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black rematch with Johnny Gargano in the picture still, aiding Ciampa, possibly. This is great. I absolutely love it. And then, you know, Nikki Cross came out for whatever reason tonight. She was all over the place. You know, Cassius Ohno was one of the individuals that she came out and says, I know. Cassius Ohno has known Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa for close to 13 years, I believe it is. Tommaso Ciampa, when he attacked Johnny Gargano and threw him off the stage many, many months ago, and Tommaso Ciampa was seen on the production truck waving goodbye as Johnny Gargano was carted away from the stage by Candice LeRae and Cassius Ohno. That is when we knew Cassius Ohno was going to be involved in whatever was going on here. You're going to connect the dots. What if Cassius Ohno is involved in this in the end anyway? For everybody that said, oh, it's Cassius Ohno. My pick is Cassius Ohno. Cassius Ohno might not have done it, but he might have aided in it. He might have known and kept secrets from everybody. He may be just as guilty as Johnny Gargano is. What if we're forming a new stable in NXT with Ciampa, Gargano, and Cassius Ohno? I think this is the beginnings of some really, really good shit. You know? We could get some really, really good shit here. I could see those three aligning themselves with one another. I could see Cassius Ohno. I could see Matt Riddle. I could see Velveteen Dream getting involved. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man, but this is perfect. I love it. I thought I was going to hate it, but the more I think about it, the more I love it. With Johnny Gargano now being heel and Johnny Gargano now kind of going to the dark side, this could potentially open itself up for all the rumors that we heard. Those rumors could now start slowly becoming a reality. Shawn Michaels is coming back And we all know that he's going to be wrestling at Crown Jewel. Fuck it. We all know that Shawn Michaels is probably going to have several one-on-one matches before he calls it quits. I'm sure WWE, with all this money that they got coming to them, is going to be throwing Shawn Michaels a lot of money to come out of retirement. And one of the dream matches for Johnny Gargano on his bucket list is Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels has been very hands-on with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, as has Triple H. I honestly believe that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they're being booked just like Triple H and Shawn Michaels were back in the day. Those two guys vicariously are living through Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. That is just my assumption. That's the feeling that I get. If Johnny continues on this dark side, and Johnny is one of those rebels who you cannot contain, you cannot stop, what if we see Shawn Michaels come back to WWE television in NXT when he finishes with The Undertaker, and we get Johnny Gargano versus Shawn Michaels leading into TakeOver at WrestleMania weekend, or on WrestleMania weekend. TakeOver Brooklyn 5. I'm assuming that's what they're going to be calling it because it is taking place at the Barclays Center. Johnny Gargano versus Shawn Michaels at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn to go head-to-head with New Japan and Supercard of Honor, or whatever they're calling that shit. The G1 Supercard. That's money. So if they do Shawn Michaels versus Johnny Gargano, and for everybody that ordered tickets or bought tickets to the Ring of Honor New Japan show at Madison Square Garden, you're probably going to be second-guessing yourself and be like, oh, shit. Don't doubt Triple H here. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, WrestleMania weekend, is going to be the best TakeOver card they have ever assembled. Ever assembled. I don't know what the NXT Championship match is going to be, but all I know is you will probably end up seeing Shawn Michaels versus Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. You will probably see Kairi Sane versus Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, that story sells itself. They're best friends. So, think of it and take a few months and apply those few months towards the end of the year going into 2019. Johnny Gargano being heel could lead to very good things. First stop is a match with Aleister Black, who is absolutely fucking white hot as a babyface. He was so over tonight, I don't think I've ever seen him more over. This is going to be great. I love it. So we'll see what happens, man. But next week, the way they did the ending tonight definitely got you watching next week. I don't give a shit what you're doing. You're going to watch next week. Tonight, we got the execution. It was beautifully executed. Next week, we possibly get the reason why that Johnny did it. Other than that, this was a great edition of NXT, man. All spearheaded by that. Moving on through the rest of this, man. Adam Cole versus EC3. Now, this got started when all four members of the Undisputed Era came to the ring. Cole got on the microphone and let everybody know that Bobby Fish is back and the group is now officially 100%. Adam Cole says this is just a warning to the NXT locker room. Just ask the War Raiders. Cole says that they will make short work of anybody who gets in their way, and the Undisputed Era is NXT. He switches the topic to Ricochet, who has his property, meaning he has the North American Championship, which Adam Cole believes belongs to him. And he reminds Ricochet that he beat Pete Dunne, but not him. Suddenly EC3's music hits and lets Cole know the truth that he doesn't deserve a rematch against the North American Champion. Cole says EC3 might want to rethink coming out here and talking down to him with all four members of Undisputed right there, making it a 4-on-1 situation. So EC3 let Cole know he's in the top 1%. He doesn't give a shit if he feels Undisputed Era runs NXT. EC3 is the top 1%. Cole tells him to shut up, and how about they have a match right now? So a referee out of nowhere heads to the ring, and we get an impromptu match with EC3 and Adam Cole. I love the beginning tapings of a fresh set of tapings for NXT. The crowd is always so fucking hot. So this one was really good, man. This was probably EC3's best match so far in his entire NXT run. He had a good match with Velveteen Dream. Obviously, the latter match was fucking fantastic, but EC3 didn't really factor into making that match great. You know, it was a collaborative effort. This was the best one-on-one match that EC3 had, and he defeats Adam Cole here on NXT. Now, a lot of you people are probably wondering, well, why the fuck did they give it to EC3? Listen, EC3 needed a victory clean. He won clean. He needed a victory so badly that they could not have afforded him to lose another match. He was already just giving off that feeling of not special. You know, he was treading the feeling of, oh, well, EC3 is an afterthought. He needed a victory here. Adam Cole can lose. A loss to Adam Cole will literally do nothing to harm Adam Cole. So he's going to War Games. Adam Cole and Undisputed Era going to War Games. That's nothing. They may end up winning War Games for all we know. Again, for a second year in a row. But Adam Cole losing here, nothing bad is going to be done to him. Nothing bad is coming to Adam Cole here. EC3 needed a victory, and Cole went for the last shot twice. He missed it. EC3 hit a big lariat to drop Cole, literally fucking turned him inside out twice. Undisputed Era got to the apron. They jumped onto the apron. EC3 knocks all three down. Cole misses a last shot again, but EC3 rolled it up with a victory. He reversed the last shot, or evaded the last shot for a second time, and rolled Cole up for a victory, shocking Adam Cole with a clean victory here on NXT. Post-match, obviously, it's a 4-on-1 situation. EC3 was attacked out on the floor by the Undisputed Era. They bring EC3 to the stage. Adam Cole then delivered the last shot to the back of EC3's head. Fish then goes and grabs a chair, and EC3 was decimated with a chair right on the kneecap. Did Bobby Fish hit EC3, man? So it was funny. Adam Cole was screaming, "You're a psychopath, you're a psychopath," all while smiling with Bobby Fish's actions, man. Really, really good stuff here. Mia Yim. Obviously, you know Mia Yim from Impact Wrestling, formerly of Impact Wrestling. She was in the Mae Young Classic. The last time we seen her in the Mae Young Classic, she was eliminated by Toni Storm. There were reports that Mia Yim, after that match, there were chants at Full Sail for WWE to sign Mia Yim to NXT. So, what did Triple H do? Triple H signed her to NXT. She reported to the Performance Center literally a week later, and here she is on NXT television. So, Mia Yim is with the NXT Women's Division. She went one-on-one with Aaliyah. This was pretty self-explanatory, man. You know, Aaliyah is looking more and more bougie, they described, every time we see her. You know, she's a very attractive female, but I think they have really overdone it with the whole look of Aaliyah, you know. So they're really playing that whole bougie aspect of Aaliyah, but Aaliyah really hasn't been able to gain momentum. She's been used in situations like this where she is, you know, an enhancement talent to newer women coming into the promotion, or someone that they just want to get TV time for, to push a bigger feud for. Aaliyah's always there. Aaliyah's the helping hand that's going to help get over other talent. So Mia Yim here was very impressive. You know, I've always enjoyed Mia Yim's work. She defeats Aaliyah with the, what do they call it? Soul Food? Eat Defeat? Soul Food, she calls it, right? So she gets Aaliyah with the Soul Food finishing move, and she defeats Aaliyah via pinfall clean. Bianca Belair is backstage telling Regal that something isn't good enough. I guess because William Regal says he will do something about it. And Bianca Belair said that something isn't good enough. She wants a title shot because she's undefeated. So William Regal said that he will take it under consideration. Outside of everybody, I'm going with Kairi Sane to beat Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is getting called up to the main roster. That's my feeling on that. And Kairi Sane and her next opponent will be Bianca Belair. So there you go. I can't wait for that fucking feud. I think that match is going to be fucking great. So Bianca Belair is definitely next in line for a women's championship match. And she will really be the EST of NXT. Even though I don't think she'll win right now, I honestly think Bianca Belair needs a little bit more seasoning. It's not that she needs more seasoning. It's not the right time for her to win the title. Kairi Sane, I think, is going to be the champion going into WrestleMania weekend. That's what I'd do. So we'll see what happens. We get a vignette for Lacey Evans, the lady of NXT. Don't really care. She wants to be a role model and the face of the company. Who cares? Justin Xavier versus Cassius Ohno. I'm loving the new attitude of Cassius Ohno, man. Justin Xavier looked like a WWE 2K19 My Player character that somebody would just generically create. But apparently, he was here to do the deed for Cassius Ohno. And my God, man. Guy made Cassius Ohno look fucking vicious as all hell. Cassius Ohno was so brutal to this guy. By the end of this match, this guy was bleeding from the mouth. Everything that Cassius Ohno did just looked absolutely devastating, man. Xavier tried to literally knife-edge chop and throw some punches at Cassius Ohno. Ohno gets thrown into the corner and hits a big kick. And he delivers 2 fucking sentons, and I mean, he put extra juice on those sentons, man, especially the last one that he did. He literally kicked the fucking shit out of this guy and delivered 2 huge sentons. The second one, he dropped literally all his fucking weight on this guy. To a point where I don't even know if the kick busted him open. I honestly think the guy was suffering internal injuries from the second senton. That's how bad it was. He delivered a rolling elbow to the back of the head that literally knocked this guy loopy. 1, 2, 3, Cassius Ohno beats Justin Xavier. Post-match, Nikki Cross comes out on the stage and laughs at Ohno, saying, I know what you did. And the crowd is chanting, Nikki's got a secret. I honestly think Cassius Ohno might have been involved with Johnny Gargano. That's just me. I honestly think they're going to play up the fact that Cassius Ohno knew and he was holding secrets or withholding information from William Regal. Because his facial reactions, Cassius Ohno's facial reactions to whatever happened that night, on the footage that they showed when he sat down next to Kairi Sane and Candice LeRae, just don't add up. At that point, why is he pissed? I don't know. I honestly think they're going to play into that entire aspect. Then we seen the ending, which you guys know. William Regal comes out to announce the NXT Championship match at TakeOver War Games. Ciampa comes out, says Regal needs to wipe that smug look off his face, stop looking at the title, and make his announcement. Velveteen Dream comes out. Dream says people want an experience at TakeOver, and he wants Regal to say his name. Lars Sullivan's music comes out, which was kind of a surprise to me. Sullivan says Ciampa and Dream need to mind where they are because this is Lars Sullivan territory. He tells Dream to bounce because Sullivan is the next challenger and that title is his. Dream, with the funniest line of the night, says when Sullivan is talking to him, he needs to wear some pants. It was a literal LOL moment. I gotta love Dream, man. You gotta love Velveteen Dream. Nikki Cross then runs into the ring yelling, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We see Black beating the fucking shit out of everybody on the outside, delivered a fucking knee to a security guard. The security guard who opened the door to let Black in. He had his head kicked off with the most devastating black mass I think I've ever seen. Black angrily charges to the ring. People went fucking crazy. He knocked the camera guy over. The screen went green. So he charges into the ring, grabs Regal. He's yelling at Regal, where is he? He delivers a black mass to Lars Sullivan. Knocked him out of the fucking ring. Ciampa and Dream just got out of Dodge, man. They ran the fuck out of there. Then from the crowd comes Johnny Gargano wearing a fucking hoodie. He hits Black with a super kick and says, I'm right here. Just like you heard in the intro. And I guess we all knew who the attacker is as NXT went off the air. Great, great, great fucking shit. Again, let me reiterate. Simple. Aleister Black, he was not over as NXT champion. He got over and started to get over when he feuded with Ciampa. Add Gargano, and you got a massive fucking main event scene right now for the NXT Championship. Black got hurt. Black got hurt. Black getting hurt ruined Gargano and Ciampa's plans because we don't know what the fuck was going to happen at TakeOver Brooklyn. For all we know, Gargano probably could have won the NXT Championship then, but WWE could not take the title off Tommaso Ciampa in that situation in a one-on-one match with Johnny Gargano because Tommaso Ciampa is literally the best thing in this company right now. You're not going to take the title off of Tommaso Ciampa and put it on Johnny Gargano for the sake of storytelling. You got to keep the title on who is the hottest, and there was no one hotter than Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny Gargano could just not, he could not reclaim that magic that we felt back in January. So Aleister Black was attacked. He was out with injury. They revealed it to be Johnny Gargano. Now, Aleister Black is hotter than he's ever been. Johnny Gargano gets a reset. Tommaso Ciampa is your NXT champion. And we got new roles. And we got a freshness to the NXT main event scene that wasn't in August. And it opens up a worldwide of possibilities. I love it. I think it's fucking great. I really fucking do. Man, the Mae Young Classic tonight. Holy shit. You know, I don't want to rant. I don't want to rant tonight. I'll save my ranting for Friday on Off the Script. Or Saturday when we do the Evolution preview and predictions. But for every dirt sheet, for every Twitter personality, or Twitter troll, or fucking analyst who thinks they are above and beyond everybody else, who wants to fucking suck the dick of WWE's main roster, and the fact that they can do no wrong, for the people who enjoy the fucking garbage that we see on Raw and SmackDown, you watch the Mae Young Classic tonight, and there's nothing that I could physically say. There's nothing verbally for me to express to you how awful the main roster shit is, but when you look at this, you get a true sense of a revolution or an evolution happening in WWE when it comes to women's wrestling. I don't know who watched this show tonight, episode 8 of the Mae Young Classic, and was not just blown away by what Toni Storm and Meiko Satomura did. I don't know. I don't know. How could you watch this and then compare this to whatever the fuck they're doing on the main roster? This is the evolution of women's wrestling. This is what we want to see on the main roster. Why is that so difficult for anyone to grasp? Oh, it's entertainment. No, we're getting fucking Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey, a reality star versus a fucking puppet in the main event of Evolution. Meanwhile, we're getting Toni Storm and Meiko Satomura literally bringing an entire arena of people to their feet. To their feet. Are Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella going to bring people to their fucking feet on Sunday? I don't think so. What a joke. And here we are. I knew this match was going to be fucking special. I knew the outcome of the match. The outcome of the match didn't even bother me. But what we seen was absolutely the best women's match all year in WWE. All year. This was a classic. Every single thing that I've mentioned about Toni Storm, this is the reason why I love Toni Storm. She is 22 years old and an absolute fucking superstar in the making. How WWE did not book Meiko Satomura on Evolution after this match is a downright fucking travesty. How you book Sasha Banks and Bayley and Natalya in another fucking match with Ruby Riott and the Riot Squad is a downright fucking embarrassment. You do realize that Sasha Banks and Meiko Satomura had a back and forth on social media. Why you are not booking Sasha Banks, who is a leader of this evolution, against Meiko Satomura, who completely blew everybody away and won the people's hearts in this year's Mae Young Classic. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we're not getting matches like this on Evolution. Fucking show's gonna be 4 hours, and we gotta look to what we know is gonna be great. NXT is going to rule the entire show on Sunday night. And when you look at the vast differences, if they are not handcuffed, if you're going to look at the vast differences on Sunday night of which parts of the show are better, you're going to look at Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, and you're going to look at Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. And then you're going to look at the rest of the fucking bullshit that we see on the show, the fucking pandering to the legends, the show being built around legends, half of the fucking rosters in a goddamn battle royal, a Monday Night Raw match that we've seen fucking how many weeks now? Every single week of the entire year, we've seen some fucking iteration of Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott and her fucking goons. And then Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey. Yeah, some fucking show. This match was unbelievable. Unbelievable. The ending of this match was crazy, man. I'm not even going to go over everything. There's nothing I could say that would do it justice, to be quite honest with you, man. So, Satomura is on one knee in the middle of the ring. Tony delivers a Shining Wizard, and Mako kicks out. Kick to the jaw. Mako is firing up. So, Toni Storm is hitting her with kicks, strike. Mako is literally no-selling at this point. She's just channeling her inner Xena warrior princess. She gets back to her feet, screaming at the top of her lungs. Storm boots her down, and she pops right back up for a kick, and they go into a kick-for-kick fucking slugfest. Satomura with a knee. DDT, which looked fucking brutal to Toni Storm. And the handspring knee drop. She did that cartwheel knee drop, I guess they call it. Fucking Michael Cole didn't have a name for it. That handspring fucking dropping knee. She did. And then she did the fireman's carry, and Toni Storm kicked out of the Death Valley Driver. Toni Storm kicked out of the Death Valley Driver. Everyone in the arena, everyone at Full Sail was on their fucking feet at this point. Toni survived. Mako then couldn't believe it. Charges in with a knee. Storm catches it. Hits a German suplex, and I'll say it again, and I'm sure I'll say it again on Sunday night. Toni Storm has the best German suplex in the game. Storm Zero. Mako kicks out of Storm Zero. So both women are back up. She goes for the Storm Zero again. Blocked. Pele kick by Mako. Roundhouse kick follows. Only good enough for a 2 count. Off the ropes. She hits Scorpion Rising. That big scissor kick. She pins, and it wasn't enough, man. Toni gets up. They jock for position. Toni gets the underhook and hits Storm Zero, and she advances to the final of the Mae Young Classic. At the end of this thing, Toni Storm gets on the microphone, man, and I'm going to be honest with you because I always am. You know, I got a really bad personal message tonight that kind of put me in an emotional mood, and I'll talk about it more on Friday when we talk about Off the Script. But I was in an emotional mood anyway before the Mae Young Classic started, and when Toni Storm, you just see the emotion on Toni Storm's face, and the fact that she took the microphone and started crying, you know, it kind of made me tear up a little bit because here's someone who's 22 years old. You know, you look at her, you see a superstar. Not only do you see a superstar in Toni Storm, but you honestly see someone who is leagues better than anything on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live right now. You look at Toni Storm and you see a true leader of what this revolution, you know, really should encompass. And it fucking brought a tear to my eye listening to her talk because all she did was say, it's because of you that I am living my dream and I'm fulfilling my dreams. And here I am in the Mae Young Classic, and I'm going on to Evolution. You know? It was unbelievable, man. Toni Storm is going to be a fucking a superstar in this company. And she's in the finals. There's money to be printed with Toni Storm. And I love every fucking minute of it. Who will she fight? Who's she going to go on to fight at Evolution? Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai, the other semifinal match. Rhea Ripley is only here because of Tegan Nox and the injury suffered to Tegan Nox. You guys know how emotional that was. Io Shirai is in the finals, and everybody's looking at her to win the entire tournament by the end of Evolution. This was a great match, but not as good as Mako versus Toni Storm. For most of this match, Rhea was in control. And I love the fact that they brought a little humanization to Io Shirai. Same thing with Mako Satomura. Mako has been dominant this entire tournament. And Toni has been the underdog fighting, clawing her way into the semifinals. And I love the fact in that match that the roles were reversed almost. Mako was on the receiving end and she was on the defensive while Toni Storm was on the offensive most of the match until the ending where things went back and forth and shit really started to break down. Io was a little humanized in this match with Rhea because Rhea honestly was fresh. Rhea had no competition. Tegan Nox was injured, unfortunately. So Rhea was so fresh, and Io was the one coming into this match. Honestly, if you want to look at it from a realistic perspective, she was the underdog coming into this match. So Rhea was on top and in control most of this match. Shirai tried to mount the comeback, but Rhea just keep it on her. Forearms down to the back of the neck. You know, really just going in at her. Forearm drops her to her knees in return. She floats over the suplex, and it was just great, man. Io then comes back with palm strikes. Rhea is really kind of reeling at this point, and she delivered a huge kick to Rhea. Io up top for the missile dropkick, and a thing of beauty, man. I love Io's missile dropkick off the top rope, man. It's so fucking devastating. 2 count only. So she goes up top for the moonsault. Ripley then crotches her and climbs up after her, jockeying for position. A superplex off the top rope by Rhea Ripley. Rhea then really slow to get on top of Io and capitalize. Io did not stay down. Pump handle applied. Io floats out of it, puts Ripley shoulder first into the post, and then Io pretty much pulls herself to her feet, charging double knees into the corner, heads up top for the moonsault, and I got to call it where I see it, man. We all make fun of Charlotte's moonsault and how god-awful it is. It's beautiful in execution, or beautiful in flight, but when she connects, it's completely garbage. So, it looks great, but it's just a complete waste of everybody's time, and I don't even know why she does it. Io's moonsault, the acai moonsault that she does, in every match that she's wrestled in this tournament, she's not connected the moonsault. So, tonight was the first time she actually connected the moonsault, mostly on Rhea Ripley, and she won with the acai moonsault and beat Rhea Ripley to advance to the finals, one-on-one with Toni Storm at Evolution. So, if I gotta call out Charlotte, I gotta call out Io. Can't play favorites here. So, Io wins by pinfall. She advances to the finals, and we had Kairi Sane in the ring. She did the same thing to Toni Storm. They embraced, but this was a little bit more personal. Io and Kairi are best friends in real life, so they embraced, and it was really, really nice. It was a nice gesture, a nice moment, and Io spoke, and she let everybody know what she felt. I'm number one. I'm going to win. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, Toni Storm gave this really elaborate and emotional speech when she won her match with Meiko Satomura. A lot of people are automatically assuming that Io's going to win because of the hype, the level of hype that, she had coming into the WWE. Really. And I picked Toni Storm to win even before she was even announced for this tournament, even before the Mae Young Classic was announced, period. I'm like, if Toni Storm is going to be in it, Toni Storm is my pick. She's my guess to win the whole thing. And here she is in the finals. But now you look at the final. It's finally announced. Io Shirai versus Toni Storm. Will WWE let Triple H have another Japanese-born superstar take center stage, front and center, at the Mae Young Classic? We got Asuka in NXT, right? Asuka was the most dominating women's champion in the history of that company. Then we got Kairi Sane winning the Mae Young Classic last year. Both of them don't speak English that well. Io probably speaks better English than both Kairi and Asuka, but Io is another Japanese-born superstar. My buddy Jesse texted me, and I gotta agree with him. It's tough to not pick Io, but he brought up a very good point. If WWE allows Io Shirai to win the Mae Young Classic, it might throw off a few people as far as Triple H showing favoritism to all the Japanese-born talent that he's signing from other companies to come into the WWE, and it may lead to some sort of interpretation of maybe WWE is favoring the Japanese superstars over the homegrown talent. And I honestly agree with him on that, because if you look at Toni Storm could realistically be the face of this company. She could be one of the faces of this company. She could be amongst the elite with the Charlottes and everybody else under that same umbrella. It's bad that I can't even mention Sasha Banks, so she's not really one of the elite. Or Bayley, she's not one of the elite. Or even Becky, she ain't even one of the fucking elite. I told him I feel like if Toni Storm wins and Io doesn't win, right? If Io loses, how can you bring in Io and justify her losing with all the hype? Shayna Baszler pulled it off. Shayna Baszler's been the best woman in all of NXT outside of like Bianca Belair and women like that who are really coming into their own. Shayna Baszler has been the best female in all of NXT. She lost the Mae Young Classic. She was in the finals and lost. Look at her now. You compare Shayna Baszler now to Shayna Baszler then, two different people. I don't want another Shayna of last year. I love this Shayna. So if Io loses, it's not really going to do anything. Io's going to find success in NXT. Io's going to be in NXT regardless, and I'm sure they'll push her to the fucking moon. Win or lose in the finals of the Mae Young Classic. We don't know where Toni Storm is going to end up. Toni Storm could win the Mae Young Classic, and she could be stuck in a bubble for a little bit on NXT UK. But if Toni Storm doesn't win, it's not going to really harm her either. It's not going to really harm her either. I think Toni Storm is above everything that this tournament had to offer. Just by what she's done. And just by who she is. That's just my opinion on that. I'm going with Toni. And it was more apparent when Io opened their mouth at the end of this episode. I think Toni's going to win. I honestly think WWE is going to give it to Toni Storm. And Io, if the rumors are true, Io wasn't even supposed to be in the finals. Tegan Nox was supposed to beat Io Shirai. So if Io was supposed to lose then to Tegan, then maybe Io right now is just a placeholder and a reason for WWE to have the best match of the night on Sunday, all for Toni to win it. I don't know. It's going to be it's going to be the match of the night. It's going to be the one match I give a shit about outside the NXT title match. I don't give a fuck about anything else on that show. Those are the two matches that I'm looking forward to most. Out of 4.5 hours of garbage, we at least have those two matches to look forward to. This Mae Young Classic blew the entire 2017 tournament out of the water, man. The only thing that they need to change is bringing in Mauro Ranallo for next year. Michael Cole did a good job. He got better as the tournament went on, but Beth Phoenix and Renee Young, we got to listen to that same three-man booth, two women and one-man booth at Evolution. They're going to be the commentary team for Evolution. So there you go. Mae Young Classic delivered in every possible way, man. Toni and Io going to tear it down. Meiko Satomura won the hearts of everybody, man. Even though she lost, honestly, the MVP of the tournament is Meiko Satomura. No question in anybody's mind that Meiko is the MVP of the Mae Young Classic 2018. Finally, guys, quickly, NXT UK. I'm including it here in the original or the regular NXT review because they don't really have much storyline going on right now. I don't want to make another video and kind of wear you guys out with video content. So that's why I'm kind of just adding everything into one video. Quickly, we had NXT UK from the Cambridge Corn Exchange. Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness standing in front of their green screen again. They weren't really there, but they were the commentary team. Vic Joseph, by the way, was the commentator for NXT tonight. Mauro Ranallo was on assignment. I know he's been battling some issues. His best friend's brother committed suicide, and I believe Mauro was accepting some award for I don't know what it was for though, but it had to do with whatever he's campaigning for mental illness. So Mauro's not there. He will be back for TakeOver War Games. Thank God, because I can't listen to a TakeOver without Mauro, man. I got to instantly decrease points from TakeOver if Mauro's not there, because that's how good he is and that's how important he is to the brand. Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness here. Opening match was Ligero versus Mike Hitchman. They call him the Wild Boar. This guy looked great coming to the ring. He had this boar mask on with husks, and he had this jacket with like horns sticking out of it. He looked fucking great. Then he took off the mask, and I'm like, oh shit, put the mask back on. Wild Boar over here. Fucking Mike Hitchman. He had these dark fucking contacts in. He had no front teeth. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro, put the mask back on. So, that took nothing away from how good he was. He was actually a very good wrestler. Ligero was in the United Kingdom tournament. So he was there. And, did he make the tournament? I think he was in the tournament. I think he was, yeah. So Ligero, you remember him from the United Kingdom tournament. He beat Mike Hitchman with a springboard tornado DDT. There was an exploder suplex set up by Hitchman. And then Ligero comes up with a running clothesline. Running big boot gets two on Hitchman. Right back at it with a fireman's carry into a face plant. Hitchman hits a running backsplash and another one in the corner. So he did a running backsplash with Ligero laying on the mat, and then he did one in the corner. Ligero at this point looking like he was in trouble, And he avoids a huge charge from the Wild Boar in the corner. Hits a springboard DDT for the pin. Match went 5 minutes. Mike Hitchman looked pretty decent. Again, bro, put the mask back on. Ligero, I think he's going to have a big role on NXT UK, man. And he's very unique. Very over with the crowd. Very unique. He brings that lucha style into the British strong style world of NXT UK, man. Dakota Kai versus Killer Kelly. So this was a good one, man. Dakota Kai wins here with the Code Red Backstabber. I don't know if she has a name for it, but she did defeat Killer Kelly here. Dakota Kai looking like she's going to be a force on NXT UK, man. Just a little side note, there's just something weirdly attractive about Killer Kelly. I don't know what it is, man. I think she's got a very pretty face. So, Killer Kelly, one of my favorites right now in the women's division here in NXT. But Dakota Kai wins. Release German suplex keeps Kai grounded by Killer Kelly. Right back at it with some kicks to the face. Running kick in the corner, followed by a running seated version of a sunset flip backstabber to Kelly at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Dakota Kai wins here over Killer Kelly and gets her first win on NXT UK. Zach Gibson. My God, man. Holy shit. I was honestly getting a little I was getting anxiety with all the booing going on. I really was. All the booing that was going on with Zach Gibson, man. You guys told me, JD, you got to listen to him speak. You got to listen to him. This guy's the most hated guy in this region. And you guys were not wrong. I didn't really find anything special about him in the UK tournament, but holy shit, tonight, man, when I watch NXT UK, the guy is absolutely fucking... He is hated with the fire of 1,000 suns. I could not hear a fucking word this guy said, the amount of booing that was going on. At one point, the crowd took their shoes off and started chanting something. I don't even know what the fuck they were chanting. Everybody took their shoes off. I thought they were all going to throw their fucking shoes at this guy. So, he was going on about how he's Liverpool's number one. He's soon to be the world's number one. NXT UK's number one, soon to be. He was like, at the Royal Albert Hall, he beat 3 men in a row and won the tournament. Then the next night, he fought Pete Dunne, though the fans weren't impressed. Gibson wants Dunne right now because at the Royal Albert Hall, fans weren't fair to him over the summer. And I love the simplicity of this, man. Zach Gibson has every right, and this is going to generate heel heat. Zach Gibson was like, bro, I wrestled 3 times in one night, and then the next night I had to go fight Pete Dunne less than 100%. I won a whole fucking tournament in one night, and here I am fighting the UK champion less than 100%. It's not fair. I want a rematch. Then he goes on and complains that Noam Dar got a rematch. He had all these months to prepare for it, and here I am. I'm empty-handed. So he calls out Noam Dar. Fans are chanting something at Gibson. Like I said, they took their shoes off. So he rants about Noam Dar getting a title shot with weeks to prepare, but he failed anyway. So Gibson said he's the kind of guy you can build a brand around, and if you look up at Dar, all you'll see is a bunch of stupid hand poses and hand gestures. What he does. So Zach Gibson really healing it up here. Noam Dar comes out. His music hits. He comes down to the ring, and Johnny Saint comes out to tell Gibson, not now. No. Get to my office. I want to talk to you right now. So he booked the match for next week. It's Zach Gibson versus Noam Dar, and we could be looking at a number one contenders match right now. It's not official, but I'm assuming that Zach Gibson is going to go on to fight Pete Dunne again for the UK Championship. Ashton Smith versus Tucker. This one went about 4 minutes. Ashton Smith, very generic looking. Really nothing that stands out about him. He won with a ripcord DDT for the pin on Tucker. And then in the main event, Wolfgang versus Tyler Bate. This one went about 10 minutes. Tyler Driver 97 finished off Wolfgang. We had Wolfgang going for the Howling, his swanton off the top rope. And Tyler Bate hit the Tyler Driver 97, took advantage of that miscue, and he defeats Wolfgang in the main event of NXT UK. Man, very good show. Very good show. I just don't think it's worth an entire video on. So that's why I put it here in the NXT review. And that's what we'll be doing going forward, man. We got no more Mae Young Classic. It's all over. We got the finals on Sunday. Obviously, we'll do the Evolution review on Sunday. But moving forward, every Wednesday, it's going to be NXT and NXT UK talk right here on the channel, man. Thank you guys so very much. I hope you enjoyed the hour that I gave you tonight with NXT Talk. If you did, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys. What do we got tomorrow? We got some more content going up tomorrow. We got WWE 2K episode, I think, 7 and 8 live on the channel right now. Go check that stuff out. I uploaded another one today. We got another big video coming tomorrow, an hour long of Call of Duty Rage. You guys are going to enjoy this, man. I just entered second prestige with nothing. So the rage is immense, and the rage is plentiful. So you guys are going to enjoy that. I mean, it's premiering at 5 p.m. on YouTube. So make sure you guys check that out. And then Friday, we're going to talk about everything Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose on Off the Script, man. So thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,200 thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more content. And then Friday on Off the Script. I'll talk to you guys later.